The Seismic 7, Chapter 24, Part 1. You ready? My mom asked me, straightening my shirt. The curtains near us blow in the breeze, and several leaves skitter by the outdoor stage. Of course she is, my dad says. Can't believe that our little girl is going to be on national television, Mom gushes. That's something even your aunt hasn't done. Yeah. I brush them away with the arm that isn't in a sling. It's been over a month, and my concussion has finally settled enough that I am cleared to travel. Bed rest and some fantastic surgeons from my parents' hospital helped me recover from a lot of my injuries. My ribs are almost totally healed, and there's a metal plate holding two parts of my hip together where it fractured. Since I'm not fully grown yet, the doctor said I'll make a complete recovery. Are you excited? My dad asked. I look around the backstage area at my friends. Kenzie is being fussed over by her grandma. She acts annoyed, but I know her well enough to see that she's absolutely loving the attention. Instead of lipstick, Kenzie now sports bright pink hair. She said she'd been wanting to dye it since the 3rd grade, but her grandma refused to let her. I suppose now that she's saved the planet, she has some leverage to work with. She catches my eye and makes a face and a laugh. Wyatt looks like he's getting last-minute tips from his dad. They sit together, talking a mile a minute. Wyatt never was quiet, I realize. He's an entirely different person than I had first thought. He's wearing a Volcanoes National Park hat in honor of his mom. I wonder if he'd consider becoming a park ranger himself one day. He'd be really good at it. Todd, his parents, and his younger brothers are all clustered together with Eddie's family. Todd's brothers are the polar opposite from him, loud, boisterous, and bouncy. I can see why they didn't first travel out with his parents when they dropped him off in Montana at the beginning of the summer. Eddie's sister chased the younger boys around, and Todd and Eddie laughed together at them. I never would have guessed they'd become such good friends, but I'm pleased to see they have. And to add to the positive things, I found out today that Eddie recently rejoined a gymnastics program. He shows off with a handstand, which prompts one of the sound crew guys to dart over to check on Eddie's microphone pack. Raquel sits some distance away in a constant side hug embrace with her mom. Raquel is the reason I'm here. She pulled me out of that tunnel. I owe her everything. Other than Kenzie, Raquel and I have kept in touch the most through the past several weeks. While she's not interested in joining in on my new YouTube channel, she does have a knack for helping me work through ideas for it. I found that there isn't anyone whose opinion I value more than hers. I smile her way, but she's too busy laughing at Eddie's handstand to notice. On the other side of my parents, Nolan sits with his family. His little sister is on his lap, bouncing on his knee. Nolan had said his parents weren't big fans of his ferrets, but his mom and dad are each holding one of them now, petting the critters as they all chat together. He does look a lot like his dad. They even have the same shy smile. Meanwhile, his mom looks like a younger version of Dr. Greer. It's hard for me to get past that, and I have to constantly remind myself that Dr. Greer is in custody. So is Miss McNamara. They can't do anything to hurt us now, but I still can't bring myself to look at Nolan's mom too much. I've been seeing a therapist to help with my nightmares. She says it is okay that I'm having trouble sleeping, that I feel like I'm haunted by McNamara and Greer, that I still think I hear the roaring volcano on occasion or feel the weight of the rocks on my shoulders. She says we'll work to get through all of that in time, and that I shouldn't feel bad for not overcoming every single one of the traumas immediately. It's strange how comforting it is to have permission to be upset. And for what it's worth, last night I slept for 8 solid hours, even though we stayed in a hotel near Yellowstone, which I figured would make things scarier for me. But it didn't, so maybe there's some hope and progress there. There's one piece of the whole ordeal that I'm having trouble setting aside more than the rest, though. Dr. Greer's shock at how people showed up to help us stop the supervolcano. I just can't figure that part out. What happened to her in her life to make her so surprised that people wanted to save the world, who let her down so badly? Nolan's mom lets out a laugh as Buggy gets tangled flipping around in her billowing skirt. I tense up as her all too familiar eyes crinkle at their corners. It's not a face I'm used to seeing happy. From what I can understand of their stories, it sounded like both Dr. Greer and Miss McNamara's original intentions started out genuinely good earlier in their lives. They only got twisted after they encountered too many other people who had selfish goals. It's no excuse for what they did. They let themselves fall down a dark, murder-filled path, one that I'll never forgive them for as long as I live. But I can't help but wonder what they could have accomplished if they had been supported in their first attempts to save the world. Now that I've seen firsthand what people are capable of when we come together, I better understand their frustration. Not their solution, but their frustration. I glanced down at my arm cast with the signatures of my friends all over it. Well, really, it's just a gigantic Kinsey with other signatures squeezed in at the edges. I inhale slowly, the way my therapist has taught me, and try to set thoughts of Greer and McNamara aside. Bree, my mom asked, your father asked if you were excited. I let out my breath, counting to 5. The dull ache from my rib cage brings my focus back to reality. Honestly, right now, I'm just glad to be with all my friends in a completely non-life-threatening situation. The television thing is just icing on the cake. But I smile for my parents. Yeah, I'm excited. They beam. Then my phone buzzes. It's a text from Aunt Pauline wishing me luck. A tingle of pride runs through me. She's been helping me set up my new YouTube channel, focusing on my plans for fixing up Yellowstone. Aunt Pauline wants me to jump on launching the channel, since I suddenly have quite the giant following online. It took a while to get over the guilt of being excited about how viral the videos I had sent her went, but I've decided that I can feel awesome about having an audience and still want to work to make the world a better place. Those aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, it's actually super helpful to have a lot of people care about what I have to say. As I close my eyes, wind brushes past me, cool enough to signal that autumn is around the corner. There's still a smell of sulfur in the air. It threatens to throw me straight back into the horrors we went through weeks ago, but I tighten my fists. It's over now. Yellowstone is calming. Greer and McNamara's other sites have been dismantled. Even James and Carlos were found alive. They're both recovering in a hospital in LA right now. Raquel sent me a picture of her and Eddie visiting them. I open up my eyes to see a stagehand directing us toward the curtain. You guys ready? White asks. Completely, Kinsey says. Born ready. Almost died ready. She points at a burn on her arm. Ready might as well be my middle name. And we're all in agreement about what we're going to say? Raquel asks. We've been over this a million times, Eddie says. I'm just making sure, Raquel replies. We want people to not only help clean up Yellowstone, but push for the creation of more protected parklands and better technologies to reduce human impact on the planet. Todd recites the pact we all made. We've done enough destroying, I say. We want people to help us rebuild the natural world. But, a little less violently than triggering every supervolcano on the planet to reset literally everything, Kinsey adds. Just a touch less violent than that, yes, Nolan agrees. We all laugh. The stagehand motions for us to quiet down and come closer. All of us scoot toward the curtains. On the screen on stage, I can hear the host narrating clips from my videos, which now have view counts in the hundreds of millions. Now, the television host says from the other side of the curtain, for the first time appearing together since stopping a supervolcano, we'd like to welcome the world's youngest heroes. We all grin at each other, ready to hit the stage. The heroes who have already promised that they aren't done saving the planet. Our grinning turns to ferocious nodding. We've made a promise. We have a voice and we're going to use it. The heroes the internet has lovingly dubbed the Seismic 7. We step onto the stage set up at Yellowstone's park entrance. Media stretches out as far as the eye can see. Waving, we greet the world we hope to change.